Vanarama National League highlight show on BT Sports. After a weekend of FA Cup action, it was back to business in England's 5th tier this week. Here's what's coming up on the show. Dover delight as the part-timers hold on to top spots. Macclesfield march on as Barrow stay stuck in the bottom 4. And we catch up with Ebbsfleet's McLean as he adapts to life in the National League. But before a ball was kicked, fans and players at grounds across the country marked Armistice Day with 2 minutes of remembrance for those who have lost their lives in conflict. We start at Crabble, where Dover were raring to go again after 2 weeks off. They'd watched on as Wrexham drew level with them at the top of the table in midweek. Victory against Eastleigh was a must to pull clear at the summit. And they took the lead after half an hour. The long throw from Mitch Pinnock eventually finding its way to James Allaby, who headed in from close range. The striker on loan from Tranmere with his first of the season. Chris Kinnear's side have the joint best defence in the league, but they were almost undone by a mistake from Femi Ilisanmi, whose pass to Ben Williamson could have resulted in an equaliser, but for a smart save from Mitch Walker. Into the second half, and Allaby was in the mood for more and had the chance to double the lead. Quick feet from Ross Fleetney denied him this time. They did score a second just before the hour mark, courtesy of a familiar face for the visitors, as former Spitfires player Connor Essam opened his account for the hosts. Dover are now unbeaten in 9 games and go 1 point clear at the top.
Our young lads are really giving it a go at the moment, as they have done, to be honest. We're going to come unstuck a few times, but at the moment, they're working very hard and they're all part and parcel of a team. Everybody's involved, which is brilliant.
A.D. Pennock's made his first signing for Barrow, bringing in former Aston Villa and Norwich City striker Grant Holt. The Carlisle-born forward played for Barrow 14 years ago. Can he help this time to get Pennock's side out of the bottom 4? Holt's first test was a home clash against promotion-chasing Macclesfield. Early on, Bedsente Gomis charged forward for Barrow, failing in the end to trouble Shwan Jalal in the Mac goal. The away team had never won a National League match at Holker Street, but still less than half an hour in, a slick move from John Askey's men saw right back Jared Hodgkiss make it 1-0, scoring for the first time for the Silkmen. Into the second half, a fine way to secure 3 points. Elliot Durrell curled superbly past Stuart Moore in the Barrow goal. It's 4 for him this campaign as Macclesfield make it 7 away wins this season, the best in the National League. For Grant Holt, meanwhile, a losing start back at Barrow.
On the coaching side, I've enjoyed it. We're doing the right things. Me and the manager, we're getting things what we want to look at. We're trying to work it and get the lads believing in what we're doing. I think if the fans have gone away today, they'll see what we're trying to achieve. And I think for the last few weeks, the lads have given everything and they've kept on going. And that's what you're going to need to keep this fight going.
2 promotion hopefuls were in action on Merseyside as Tranmere welcomed Dagenham and Redbridge. A disappointing start to the campaign had seen Rovers struggling to move out of the bottom half of the table, but a draw and a win in their last 2 had seen them move to within 4 points of a playoff position. Dagenham were also unbeaten in 2 coming into this one and had been 2-0 winners here at the turn of the year, but they were a goal down just 4 minutes after the whistle. James Norwood dancing around the Daggers' defence and slotting in his 6th goal of the season. And it was 2-0 before the break. Liam Ridehouse with the corner, Oliver Norburn with the impressive volley for his 3rd goal of the campaign. John Still's side didn't register a shot until the second half, but it was Rovers who looked the most likely to add anything. Norwood with several of the opportunities, including this one, which went wide. Tranmere now turn their attention to an FA Cup replay with Peterborough live on BT Sport. Dagenham dropped to 9th.
You can't play for 45 minutes and you can't do that against the best teams. So now, I know they've had a disappointing start by their standards, but they're a good side and they're getting better. And unfortunately, we weren't good enough today to give them enough problems. Say second half better, but it's not good enough.
great respect for John, a brilliant football man, and you always know that against these teams you're going to have to perform in all areas of the game in order to try and get a result. We were able to do that today, but we had to work very, very hard for it, which we expected to have to do before the game. So really pleased with the result and a clean sheet.
Bottom of the league and struggling Solihull Moors were aiming to avoid a 4th defeat in a row at home, facing Sutton United, who are unbeaten in their last 7 in the 5th tier. Half an hour gone and a poor clearance from Moors keeper Nick Townsend meant a close-range opportunity for Ross Lafayette, a chance taken as he makes it 3 in the league this season. Solihull are looking for their 3rd boss of the campaign, with Gary Wilde currently in caretaker charge following Richard Money's exit after only 26 days. Darren Carter couldn't keep his shot down after the break. And with only 4 minutes to go at the Automated Technology Group Stadium, Craig Dundas was put through on goal, becoming joint top scorer with Tommy Wright. Solihull lose a 4th match in succession at home. Promotion-chasing Sutton stay 4th in the table, 3 points off the top.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good place to be, obviously. We'll always keep saying to everyone that we need to get to 52 points to start feeling that we can push on again. So that's the first target, 19 points to go. And we see where that just takes it from there. It's a game-by-game one for us.
A week after Fylde made history by progressing to the 2nd round of the FA Cup, they started another new page in their record books as they met Aldershot for the very first time. The Shots were without a win in 2 and out of the FA Cup, so time to get their league form back on track. And it started well, with an opening goal from Shamir Fenelon, the Irishman heading in for his 5th of the campaign to become Gary Waddock's leading man. The visitors levelled 10 minutes after the interval through top scorer Danny Rowe, but as Fylde went in search of a second, they were reduced to 10 men as a wrestling match ensued between Jack Muldoon and George Fowler. Muldoon seeing red after an alleged use of the elbow. And with 10 minutes to go, it was a goal apiece and a red card apiece. Manny Oyaleki had been on the field for less than 20 minutes when he was given his marching orders by Sam Perkis for this lunge on Serhat Tazdemir. The visitors' aim of 3 clean sheets in 3 had already come to an end, but they conceded again and agonisingly in the closing stages of the game. Callum Reynolds flicking on to Will Evans, whose first goal of the season proved to be the winner. 3 points for Aldershot sees them move up to 7th in the table.
No better feeling, you know. We had a dodgy spell this time last year. We don't like this time of the year, by the looks of it. But probably we've picked up more points now than we did this time last year in this little spell. So look, when we're back and, you know, in full flow, you know, hopefully we can pick up more wins and more points. But when things are not going quite right for you, you have to grind things out, injuries, suspensions, and everything else that's thrown at you. You have to grind out some results, and today we ground out a result, which is very pleasing.
Boreham Wood achieved arguably the biggest shock of the FA Cup first round last weekend as goals from Blair Turgott and Dan Holman saw Luke Garrard's men knock out League One team Blackpool, former winners of course of the competition. Wood's visitors to Meadow Park this weekend, Hartlepool United, a first ever meeting between these two who were both unbeaten in their last 6 in the National League. In the first half, tricky Bruno Andrade created an opening for himself on the home team's left, forcing a save from Scott Loach. Three minutes after the interval, continued Boreham Wood pressure. A Kane Smith shot was blocked, leading to a foul on Turgott by Scott Harrison, penalty given. Once again, though, Andrade was denied by Loach as this one ended goalless.
Before their game against Leyton Orient on Saturday, we went behind the scenes at Ebbsfleet United to catch up with veteran striker Aaron McLean.
I've always always just worked hard and, you know, tried to do the best that I can do. I started at Leyton Orient as a 16-year-old and then dropped out of the league into the conference at Aldershot, then moved to Grays and then got a move to Peterborough and then went to Hull, moved to Bradford, from Bradford, Barnet, and then when I left Barnet, that brought me down to Ebbsfleet.
He brings the professionalism to the team, to the group, definitely. A work ethic, he's played at the highest level and obviously he's a decent player.
He just explained to me what he was doing here, what he was trying to build and, you know, the direction that the club was trying to go. Morning. Yeah, yeah, good, thank you. Morning, guys. How are you? Good? Milos? Cool? Something else? Good? Yeah, cool. Mac? Hey. Good? Would you? Yeah, good, thank you.
We're going to watch Orient v Wrexham for 15-20 minutes. In this game, I think definitely if they moved the ball well in this game, to be fair. Brophy on the left-hand side was good. Dayton inside of him was good. Technically nice players.
With the way we play, any kind of movement around their defence, we should be getting in.
Basically, I think as well, what we're saying is, for us Saturday night, it's about us. It is literally about us. Understanding their qualities, which we will, and we do, but showing everyone how good we are. That's important that we do that. Turning up with a performance like we can.
Once you come here, it's a men's game. You have to work harder. I think the lower you play, you have to work that much harder to be noticed and to try and impress.
We have to go out Saturday and make sure that we step on the gas from minute one and put them under as much pressure as we can, and that will give you a great chance of winning the game.
It's only been probably the last 3 or 4 years that I've really wanted to go into coaching. If Clark is deepest, Clark is the one that calls it as he comes up. That's it. If Yads is deepest, Yads calls it.
He's certainly got the experience to be a coach. You know, he's played at the best level you can get. That will give him the best experience he can to pass on to players, particularly younger players.
Obviously, just being a player, I've always just concentrated on playing. That was kind of my sole goal. So for Dale to give me the opportunity now to be part of his coaching staff and putting into practice what we've been working on the training pitch, you know, it's a brilliant feeling and, you know, one that I'm really grateful for.
7 appearances against Leyton Orient, 5 goals. Do you think you'll get another one on Saturday?
I hope so. You know, if I'm involved in the team, then I'll definitely be looking to add to that stat. Let's see if I can make it 8 and 8.
So could Ebbsfleet condemn Leyton Orient to an 11th game without a win in the division? Watching this one for us with the 2 Adams, Virgo and Somerton.
Weston, who's an Antigua and Barbuda international. And now Coulson gets on the ball, he's got Kedwell waiting in the middle. Oh, and it's turned home. And Ebbsfleet lead here with just 6 minutes on the clock. It was Andy Drury who was in the middle there for the home side. Caprice found by a good ball. That was a good cross as well. Oh, and how unlucky was that? What a let-off that is for Ebbsfleet. So unlucky, Leyton Orient. Good ball in there and he's forced to save. He's gone close once more, that arrow denied by Nathan Ashmore for a second time. Connors. Weston will get to this, and the crossing wasn't bad at all, was it? And it's a lovely finish too. And it's Danny Kedwell who's doubled Ebbsfleet's advantage here. Drury's got forward from midfield. Cook still going on. Was he fouled there? Had a good view of that. The official straight away said no. Cook. His crossing is a good one, and it's Weston, and it's just about kept out by Granger. Was Harold fouled there?
I think that's obstruction there. I think he's actually stopping Matt Harold going towards the ball.
Miles Judd. Joby McAnuff. They really need some quality in the final third here. Can McAnuff provide it? Mooney maybe can. Oh, Bocco's got in the way of the shot. on their way to a big 3 points here. Leicester could be a turnaround. What a hit that is from Dayton. And it sets up potentially a grandstand finish.
It's a brilliant goal because it's just a short back lift. Brilliant strike there from Dayton into the top corner.
Charlie Granger inside the Ebbsfleet half. Oh, it's a fantastic run. Oh, and it's Mooney, what a chance! Oh, goodness me. Just a lack of conviction about it, but they worked the chance really well. Well, they think it's over, I think, down on the Ebbsfleet bench. I think they might be right. Ebbsfleet take the points. Darryl McMahon's side firmly in the playoff picture. But it's 11 National League games without a win now for Steve Davis and Leyton Orient. Their season just hasn't got going.
We can't start games how we want to start them. We talk in there and about what we want to do in the early part of the game, but we're almost waiting for that 5-6 minute period to get through it. And we've shown our frailty in that early part of the game, and then in the end we're chasing. You know, to get the second goal. It's always going to be difficult, obviously, because they defended very deep and counter-attacked and set up to stop the gaps. We couldn't get through, so we had to try and penetrate in different ways. And like I say, you know, it's almost a habit of what's been happening over the last 2 months, probably.
Guiseley hosted Bromley, who hadn't won in their last 3. A thrilling encounter at Nethermore Park came to life after only a couple of minutes. Louis Dennis was fouled by the home team's captain, Ash Palmer, and a red card shown by referee Paul Marsden. Dennis took the spot kick. It was saved by the reliable Johnny Maxted. Before the first half was up, Maxted was in the spotlight again in West Yorkshire. Josh Rees unable this time to get the first goal of the match. Neil Smith's men were to get another chance to get the better of Maxted from 12 yards. Frankie Raymond was brought down this time. The kick was taken by Rees, kept out again by Guiseley's number 1. The game was into the 93rd minute, and if anyone didn't deserve to lose, it was the magnificent Maxted. But eventually he was beaten by 2 of Smith's subs. Dominic Vose setting up Iffy Allen. Bromley win for the first time in 4. Gutted Guiseley are defeated for the first time in 6.
I thought Barrow played right through right to the end, and I thought the keeper was absolutely outstanding. You know, we did have several chances to actually finish the game off, and for us to then take it right into the last minute of the game, you know, it's hard on Barrow, but I thought we deserved the win. You know, as much as they did work hard, I think we created enough chances to have won it.
I tend to look at his eyes, his body shape. I tend to quite read a lot about that, and as soon as he's done it, I've made my mind up and just gone for it. And as I say, really, just more luck than anything, but like I say, you look at the body shape and you try and guess where he's going.
After pulling off one of the shocks of the FA Cup first round with a win at Cheltenham, Maidstone went on the road again, this time to Torquay. Jay Saunders' side have won more games away than they have at home. A warning to the Gulls, perhaps, who've had just 1 victory at Plainmoor. Mishi Afete got things off to a lively start, the Torquay defender with 2 quick chances. But it was Maidstone who were on the score sheet after half an hour. Joe Piggott with a curling free kick to net his 7th league goal of the season. Torquay continued to test Lee Worgan in the opposition goal as they pushed all afternoon for an equaliser, registering 8 shots on target, but they just couldn't find the breakthrough. That's been the issue all season for Gary Ower's side, who've scored the fewest on home turf in the division. Even when Josh McCoy went one-on-one with Worgan, they were denied once again by the Stone stopper. That's 3 league wins in a row for Maidstone, but 3 home defeats on the bounce for Torquay.
You know, I'm disappointed because of the difference between the performance in the first half and the performance in the second half, which was greatly improved. But we've got to come to the party for 90 minutes. We can't think that we can leave ourselves 45 minutes to try and win a game of football.
Woking went to the MBI Shea, unbeaten in their previous 7 against Halifax. The home team hadn't secured victory in their previous 6 in the league. It's not too hard to see why either. After a Josh Wilde delivery, Tom Denton couldn't even make the target from close range. As Billy Heath's men went for only a second goal in 4 home fixtures, ref Peter Gibbons wouldn't give them the edge with a penalty after what appeared to be handball from Richard Orlu. Before a disappointing game was over, there was a softer penalty appeal also not given. Halifax then are now 7 without a win in the National League.
Dover remain top of the Vanarama National League then, with Macclesfield just a point behind them. Bromley's narrow 1-0 win away to Guiseley moves them back in amongst the playoff places along with Aldershot. Dagenham and Redbridge's loss to the inconsistent Tranmere Rovers sees them drop to 9th, but Ebbsfleet United are back in the top half again after piling more misery on Leyton Orient. They now sit just 3 points above the drop zone, with pressure mounting on boss Steve Davis to arrest the slump. Gateshead ran out 3-0 winners at Maidenhead United. Unfortunately, we were unable to bring you that game due to technical issues at the ground. No change between the bottom 4, but there's still plenty of football to be played.
There was a top-of-the-table fixture this weekend in National League North. It took Spennymoor Town only 2 minutes to take the lead against Harrogate Town, a volley from David Foley. Still inside 20 minutes, the Moors of the 6th tier struck again, a Ryan Hall cross put into the net by Glenn Taylor, 2-0. Harrogate hadn't lost away all season. They pulled one back courtesy of Jack Emmett with the assist and Andrew Nelson, the goal scorer. But a thrilling first half finished with the home team extending their lead again. Robert Ramshaw made sure Spennymoor went 3-1 up, and that's how it stayed. Jason Ainsley's men are now only 3 points off Harrogate in second.
That loss for Harrogate meant Salford City extended their lead at the top of the table to 7 after a Mike Fenix header sealed a 2-1 victory for joint managers Anthony Johnson and Bernard Morley. In the National League South, Braintree Town leapfrogged Dartford after a 3-0 win away to Poole Town and Dartford's 3-1 defeat to Truro City. There were no wins for Welling, Hemel Hempstead or Havant and Waterlooville, meaning Braintree have a 3-point gap at the top. Just enough time to mark your card for more live and exclusive Vanarama National League action as our cameras head back to Chester on the 25th of November with Dagenham and Redbridge the visitors. Tune in to BT Sport 1 from midday and you can watch Inglorious 4K on our UHD channel. We'll leave you with former Boston United goalkeeper and now record breaker Paul Bastock. The 47-year-old Wisbech Town stopper surpassed England legend Peter Shilton's world record number of appearances in competitive club football after reaching his 1,250th match. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.